Sabrina here. We're doing a test today to find out what the best silicone-free primers are out there. And I went ahead and got 4 of these to test, and I've been comparing them with one another and seeing how long they last, and I will be showing you a complete review of each of these today. Now, this video was inspired because I made the Monistat chafing gel as a primer video that you may remember from a little while back. And in that video I talked about how dimethicone is one of those ingredients that can break out those of us who suffer with acne, and it can clog your pores. And it's not a good ingredient to be using on your face, and the Monistat chafing gel does contain dimethicone. And since doing that video, several of you have asked me, well, what primers out there are the best that don't have dimethicone in them? Which ones are the ones that work? So I'm on a quest to find out for you today which one is the best. The primers that we will be comparing in today's video are the Tarte Clean Slate Flawless 12-Hour Brightening Primer, one from Sephora, Silicone-Free Primer, another from Mercier. This is their oil-free primer, just a sample size that I happen to have. And then finally one from Korres. It's a mattifying primer in Pomegranate. There was a 5th silicone-free primer that I really wanted to include in this comparison for you today. It's from LORAC, and it was called the Aqua Prime, but it's sold out on their website, and I don't know if it's been discontinued or not. I will have to confirm that with them and let you know. A little bummed about that, but at least we have a good mixture to test here. So I'll show you how each of these looks in consistency first. Now this is the Tarte primer, and it's got more of a fluid mixture to it. It's not as solid as most primers that you may find are. Applies beautifully and it sinks right in. It doesn't take long to dry at all. None of these primers really did, to be honest. I mean, they pretty much sink right into the skin the second that you apply them. The Sephora primer has the consistency of the Smashbox primer in that it's that clear consistency, and it's a little bit more solid compared to the Tarte, which is just slightly more runny. Mercier's oil-free primer is almost the exact same consistency as the Tarte primer. It's got that gloppy texture, and it is a little bit runny. It's not anywhere near as solid as the Sephora primer is. And then finally the Korres primer, and you might already notice that this one has an entirely different color compared to the rest of the primers. The primers before this one were either clear or they came out white and then they disappeared clear, whereas this one is more of a flesh tone color. It will dry clear and it's not runny. It does hold its form very well, enough for you to get it onto your face so it's not going to fall all over the place like the Tarte one tries to. So when I put all of these primers to the test, the way that I did it was I applied one to one half of my face and then the other to the other half of my face, and then wore them throughout the day. And I did do video documentation to show you of how each of these primers wore, so we'll go ahead and take a closer look at that coming up here shortly. The first 2 primers that I compared side by side were the Sephora one and the Tarte one. Unfortunately, I am incredibly sad to report that after only 4 hours of wear, the Tarte side got really sticky and the Sephora side started to shine. So each of these primers did not perform anywhere near as what I had expected them to do. They didn't even make it past the 4-hour mark. And in this demonstration, I'm showing you what they look like after 5 hours of wear here, and you can already start to see the shininess that is occurring on my face on both sides. And then the next day, I compared the Mercier oil-free primer with the Korres Pomegranate primer. And this is where we find our winner. Unfortunately, the Mercier primer did not hold up. It went about 6 hours before it got shiny, which is much better than the Sephora and the Tarte primers, but ultimately, the Korres Pomegranate primer went for a total of 8 hours, almost upwards to 9 hours, without getting sticky or shiny. And that concludes our silicone-free primer test. By far the best primer that you can find on the market to keep your face matte and not break you out at the same time is the Korres Pomegranate Primer. Pomegranate Primer! Say that 3 times fast. Very impressed by it. I do not recommend the Tarte, the Sephora, or the Mercier at all. Save your money, get the Korres, worth every penny. Hope you found this helpful today. Let me know what your favorite primer is below. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.
Are you looking for new ways to wear your eyeshadows? Discover the only website online with pictures of combinations using the eyeshadows featured in today's look and so many more. Head on over to myeyeshadowconsultant.com and get inspired today.